Discovery and descent. The red dust of Mars swirled around the landing site as the Ares V touched down on the planet's surface. Inside the spacecraft, 5 astronauts held their breath, their hearts pounding with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. They had trained for years for this moment, but nothing could truly prepare them for the reality of being the first humans to set foot on the red planet. Commander Sarah Chen unbuckled her harness and stood up, her movements slow and deliberate in the reduced Martian gravity. She looked around at her crew. Dr. Aidan Foster, the mission's geologist, Dr. Elena Rodriguez, the team's biologist, Lieutenant Michael Okonkwo, their pilot and engineer, and Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the mission's physicist and communications specialist. "Well, team," Sarah said, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. "We made it. Let's suit up and make history." The next hour was a flurry of activity as the crew performed final checks on their equipment and helped each other into their sleek, state-of-the-art spacesuits. These weren't the bulky suits of the past. They were form-fitting and flexible, designed to allow for maximum mobility in the harsh Martian environment. As the airlock cycled, Sarah took a deep breath. The door slid open, revealing the rust-colored landscape beyond. She stepped forward, her boots sinking slightly into the fine Martian regolith. "Houston, Ares V has landed," Sarah reported, her words echoing across millions of miles of space. "The first human footstep on Mars has been taken." The crew emerged one by one, their eyes wide as they took in the alien world around them. The sky was a pale pink, dotted with wispy clouds. In the distance, they could see the looming shape of Olympus Mons, the largest volcano in the solar system. "It's beautiful," Elena whispered, her voice filled with awe. "And completely inhospitable," Aidan added, already scanning the ground with his handheld spectrometer. "The radiation levels here are off the charts. Good thing our suits can handle it." Michael was busy setting up their mobile habitat, a compact structure that would serve as their base of operations for the next 6 months. Yuki, meanwhile, was configuring their long-range communications array, ensuring they maintained a stable link with mission control back on Earth. As the team settled into their new routine, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The landscape around them was barren, as expected, but there was an eerie stillness to it that set her nerves on edge. 3 days into the mission, Aidan made a discovery that would change everything. "Commander, you need to see this," he called over the comlink, his voice tight with excitement and a hint of fear. Sarah made her way to his location, about a kilometer from their base camp. As she crested a small rise, she saw what had caught Aidan's attention. There, half buried in the Martian soil, was what appeared to be a massive stone archway. "What is it?" Sarah asked, her mind racing with possibilities. "I don't know," Aidan replied, running his scanner over the structure. "But it's definitely not natural. The material composition, it's unlike anything I've ever seen." Sarah's heart rate spiked. This wasn't just a scientific discovery, it was a paradigm-shifting moment in human history. "Alert the others," she ordered. "We need to document everything." As the rest of the crew arrived, they began a careful excavation of the site. The more they uncovered, the more astonishing the discovery became. The archway was just the entrance to a vast underground complex, its walls covered in intricate alien glyphs. "This changes everything we thought we knew about Mars," Elena said, her voice filled with wonder as she ran her gloved hand over the strange symbols. "This is proof of an advanced civilization. But where did they go?" Michael asked, voicing the question on everyone's mind. As if in answer, a low rumble emanated from deep within the complex. The ground beneath their feet began to tremble, and a faint, pulsing light emerged from the depths of the structure. "Everyone, back to base camp now," Sarah ordered, her instincts screaming that they were in danger. But as they turned to leave, the archway suddenly sealed shut behind them, trapping them inside the alien structure. The pulsing light grew brighter, and with it came a sense of ancient, awakening power. Sarah's mind raced as she tried to process what was happening. They had come to Mars seeking knowledge, to push the boundaries of human exploration. Instead, they had stumbled upon something beyond their wildest imaginations, and potentially beyond their ability to control. As the light engulfed them, Sarah realized that their mission had just become something far more than a scientific expedition. It was now a fight for survival, not just for themselves, but possibly for all of humanity. The floor beneath them suddenly gave way, and the 5 astronauts found themselves plummeting into the unknown depths of the Martian underworld. Their screams were lost in the rushing wind as they fell deeper and deeper, surrounded by flashes of alien technology coming to life after eons of dormancy. In that moment, as they plunged into the heart of the Red Planet, Sarah Chen knew that the true purpose of their mission was only just beginning to reveal itself. Whatever secrets Mars had been hiding, they were about to be thrust into the center of a mystery that spanned millennia and could reshape humanity's understanding of its place in the universe. The descent seemed to last an eternity, but in reality, it was only a matter of seconds before they landed on a soft, spongy surface that absorbed the impact of their fall. As they struggled to their feet, disoriented and shaken, they found themselves in a vast chamber bathed in an otherworldly, blue-green light. "Is everyone okay?" Sarah called out, her voice echoing in the cavernous space. One by one, her team responded, shaken but unharmed. As their eyes adjusted to the dim light, they began to take in their surroundings. The chamber was filled with towering structures that looked like a cross between organic growth and advanced machinery. Pulsing veins of energy ran through the walls and floor, converging on a central pillar that stretched up into the darkness above. "What is this place?" Yuki whispered, her scientific curiosity overriding her fear. Before anyone could respond, a deep, resonant hum filled the air. The central pillar began to glow more intensely, and suddenly, holographic images sprang to life around them. They saw flashes of a thriving Martian civilization, of great cities and advanced technology. But then the images turned dark, showing war, destruction, and a desperate plan to preserve what remained of their species. As the last image faded, leaving them once again in the dim light of the chamber, the 5 astronauts stood in stunned silence. They had just witnessed the history of an entire alien civilization, and the weight of that knowledge pressed down on them like a physical force. Sarah took a deep breath, steeling herself for what was to come. "All right, team," she said, her voice firm and determined. "We've just made the greatest discovery in human history, but we're also trapped who knows how far beneath the Martian surface, surrounded by alien technology we don't understand. Our mission now is twofold: find a way back to the surface, and learn everything we can about what happened here." As her words echoed in the chamber, Sarah couldn't help but feel a mix of fear and exhilaration. They had come to Mars seeking answers, and now they found themselves at the heart of a mystery that could reshape humanity's understanding of the universe. Whatever challenges lay ahead, she knew that the next steps they took would be not just for themselves, but for all of humanity. With renewed purpose, the crew of Ares Vi began to explore their alien surroundings, unaware that their every move was being watched by ancient systems slowly stirring to life after eons of dormancy. The true test of human ingenuity and courage was about to begin. Deep in the hidden heart of the Red Planet, secrets unearthed, the alien chamber hummed with energy as the Ares Vi crew cautiously explored their surroundings. Dr. Elena Rodriguez ran her gloved hand over one of the pulsing veins of energy coursing through the walls, her scientific curiosity overriding her fear. "This technology, it's unlike anything we've ever seen," she murmured, her voice filled with awe. "It seems to be drawing power from somewhere deep within the planet." Lieutenant Michael Okonkwo was examining what appeared to be a control panel near the central pillar. "Commander," he called out, "I think I've found something. It looks like an interface of some kind." As the team gathered around, Dr. Yuki Tanaka stepped forward, her expertise in physics and communications making her the best suited to decipher the alien technology. She studied the symbols on the panel, her brow furrowed in concentration. "These symbols, they're similar to the glyphs we saw at the entrance," she said. I think I can activate it." Commander Sarah Chen nodded grimly. "Do it," she ordered. "But everyone, be ready for anything." Yuki took a deep breath and pressed her hand against the panel. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, with a sudden surge of energy, the entire chamber came to life. Holographic displays sprang up around them, filling the air with swirling patterns of light and information. It's a database," Yuki gasped, her eyes wide as she tried to process the flood of information. "The history of their entire civilization is here." As the team watched in amazement, the holographic displays began to tell a story. They saw images of a thriving Martian civilization, far more advanced than anything humanity had achieved. The Martians had mastered interplanetary travel, terraformed their world, and even begun to explore the stars beyond their solar system. But then the images turned dark. They witnessed a catastrophic event. A massive solar flare that stripped away Mars' atmosphere and magnetic field. The once lush planet was reduced to a barren wasteland in a matter of centuries. They knew it was coming, Dr. Aidan Foster said, his voice hushed. "Look, they built these underground cities as a last resort." The holograms showed the Martians retreating underground, using their advanced technology to create vast subterranean complexes where they could survive. But even this wasn't enough. As the centuries passed, their numbers dwindled and resources grew scarce. "Wait," Sarah said, pointing to a new series of images. "What's that?" The holograms now showed a small group of Martians working on what appeared to be a massive project. They were constructing some kind of device. Towering machine that pulsed with energy. It's a hibernation system," Yuki realized, deciphering the accompanying data. They put themselves into suspended animation, hoping to wait out the disaster and reawaken when Mars became habitable again. A chill ran down Sarah's spine as the implications sank in. "Are you saying there could still be Martians alive down here?" Before anyone could respond, a low rumble shook the chamber. The central pillar began to glow more intensely, and a new hologram appeared, a map of the underground complex. Pulsing light indicated their location, and a path lit up, leading deeper into the heart of the facility. "I think," Michael said slowly, "we're being invited to go deeper." Sarah looked at her team, seeing the mix of fear and excitement on their faces. They had come to Mars to make history, but this was beyond anything they could have imagined. "All right," she said, her voice steady despite the pounding of her heart. "We came here to explore, to push the boundaries of human knowledge. We can't turn back now, but we proceed with caution. Yuki, see if you can download any of this data to our suit's computers. Hayden, take samples of anything that looks important. Elena, keep monitoring our life support systems. Michael, you're on point with me." As the team prepared to venture deeper into the Martian underworld, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that they were walking into something far bigger than themselves. Whatever secrets lay hidden in the depths of Mars, they were about to uncover them, for better or for worse. With a deep breath, Sarah stepped onto the illuminated path. "Let's make history," she said, leading her team into the unknown. The passageway seemed to stretch endlessly before them, its walls pulsing with the same strange energy they had seen in the first chamber. As they walked, more holograms sprang to life, showing them glimpses of Martian life, families, celebrations, scientific achievements. It was a poignant reminder of the civilization that had once thrived here. "It's incredible," Elena mused as they walked. "They were so much like us, and yet so different. And now, they're gone," Aidan added soberly. "Or are they? If that hibernation system worked." His words trailed off as they rounded a corner and found themselves facing a massive door. Unlike the organic, flowing designs they had seen so far, this door was clearly mechanical. Giant seal of interlocking metal plates. "This is it," Sarah said, her voice barely above a whisper. "Whatever's on the other side of this door, it's what they wanted us to find." As if responding to her words, the door began to slide open with a hiss of pressurized air. The team instinctively took a step back, their hands hovering near their equipment, ready for anything. But nothing could have prepared them for what they saw as the door fully opened. Beyond lay a vast chamber, filled with row upon row of sleek, cylindrical pods. And in those pods, barely visible through frosted glass, were the unmistakable forms of humanoid figures. "My God," Michael breathed. "They're still here. The Martians, they're still alive." As the team stood frozen in shock, one of the pods nearest to them began to glow. With a soft hiss, its top slid open, revealing its occupant, being that looked almost, but not quite, human. The Martian's eyes slowly opened, focusing on the stunned faces of the Ares Vi crew. And then, in a voice that seemed to echo through their minds rather than their ears, it spoke. "Welcome, children of Earth. We have been waiting a very long time for you." The awakening. The Martian's words hung in the air, sending shivers down the spines of the Ares Vi crew. For a moment, no one moved or spoke, the sheer magnitude of the situation overwhelming them. Commander Sarah Chen was the first to regain her composure. She stepped forward, her heart racing, but her voice steady. We come in peace," she said, falling back on the age-old greeting. "I'm Commander Sarah Chen of the Ares Vi mission from Earth." The Martian slowly sat up in its pod, its movements graceful despite eons of hibernation. Its skin was a pale lavender, with intricate patterns that seemed to shimmer in the chamber's dim light. Its eyes, large and multifaceted, regarded the humans with an unsettling intelligence. "We have been monitoring your progress," the Martian said, its voice resonating in their minds. "Your arrival was anticipated." Dr. Yuki Tanaka stepped forward, her scientific curiosity overriding her fear. "You've been watching us. For how long?" The Martian's expression shifted into something that might have been a smile. "Since your species first looked to the stars with wonder. We have witnessed your triumphs and your failures, your wars and your peace. And now, at last, you have come." As the Martian spoke, more pods began to activate. One by one, other Martians awakened, each regarding the humans with a mix of curiosity and what seemed like expectation. Dr. Elena Rodriguez couldn't contain herself any longer. "This is incredible. Your hibernation technology, your ability to survive for so long. The scientific implications are staggering." The first Martian nodded. "Yes, our technology allowed us to endure, but at a great cost. Our world is no longer habitable, our civilization reduced to this remnant." Lieutenant Michael Okonkwo, ever practical, asked the question on everyone's mind. "Why have you revealed yourselves to us now? What do you want from us?" The Martian's multifaceted eyes seemed to darken. "Want? No, it is not about what we want. It is about what must be done. For both our worlds." A sense of unease settled over the human crew. Sarah stepped forward again, her posture defensive. "What do you mean? What must be done?" The Martian rose from its pod, towering over the humans. Its voice, when it spoke again, carried a weight of ages. "Your world faces the same threat that destroyed ours. The cycle of stellar destruction continues, and Earth is next in its path." Dr. Aidan Foster's eyes widened in realization. "The solar flare, you're saying it's going to happen to Earth?" "Yes," the Martian confirmed. "But there is hope. Together, we can prevent the catastrophe that befell our world. But it will require sacrifice." As more Martians awakened and emerged from their pods, the chamber began to hum with energy. Holographic displays sprang to life, showing images of Earth, of the Sun, and of a massive machine that seemed to dwarf planets. "This is the stellar shield," The Martian explained. A device capable of deflecting the solar flare and saving your world. But to build it, we need resources. Resources that can only be found on Earth. The implications hit the crew like a physical blow. Sarah's mind raced, trying to process what she was hearing. You're talking about mining Earth on a massive scale. The Martian nodded solemnly. The alternative is the destruction of your civilization, just as ours was destroyed. We offer you the chance to save yourselves, but the cost will be great. As the crew looked at each other, the weight of the situation settling on their shoulders, they realized that they stood at a crossroads of cosmic proportions. The fate of Earth, perhaps of two civilizations, hung in the balance. Sarah took a deep breath, her mind whirling with the implications. We need to discuss this. And we need to contact Earth. They need to know what's happening. The Martian's expression was unreadable. Of course, but know this. Time is short. The flare approaches, and every moment of delay brings your world closer to destruction. As the Martians retreated to give the humans space, Sarah gathered her crew close. All right, team, she said, her voice low and urgent. We need to think this through. The implications of what they're proposing. It's beyond anything we're authorized to decide. Yuki nodded, her face pale. The technology they're offering could save humanity. But the cost, mining Earth on that scale could devastate entire ecosystems. Helena added, not to mention the political implications. Who gets to decide which parts of Earth are sacrificed? Michael's eyes narrowed. And can we trust them? For all we know, this could be some kind of invasion plan. Hayden, who had been quiet, finally spoke up. But if they're telling the truth about the solar flare, can we afford not to listen? The evidence of what happened here on Mars, it's all around us. Sarah looked at each member of her crew, seeing the conflict in their eyes. She knew that whatever decision they made here would change the course of human history forever. All right, she said finally. Here's what we're going to do. Yuki, I need you to work on establishing communication with Earth. Use whatever Martian tech you need to boost our signal. Helena, Aiden, I want you to gather as much data as you can on this stellar shield and the predicted solar flare. Michael, you're with me. We need to learn more about these Martians and their intentions. As the team dispersed to their tasks, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that they were walking a razor's edge. One wrong move could spell disaster not just for their mission, but for all of humanity. Little did they know, deep within the Martian facility, ancient systems were stirring to life. The awakening of the Martians had set in motion events that would soon spiral beyond anyone's control. As the humans raced against time to make their decision, unseen forces were already at work, shaping the destiny of two worlds. The clock was ticking, and the true test of humanity's ingenuity and courage was about to begin. Race against time. As the Ares Vi crew worked feverishly to gather information and establish communication with Earth, the Martian complex hummed with renewed activity. Yuki had managed to boost their signal using alien technology, and after hours of tense waiting, they finally made contact with Mission Control. The faces of the NASA officials on the other end of the transmission were a mix of shock, disbelief, and fear as Sarah relayed their discovery and the Martians' warning. Commander Chen, the NASA director, said, his voice grave, "This is beyond anything we could have imagined. We're convening an emergency meeting of world leaders as we speak, but we need more information. Can you verify the Martians' claims about this solar flare?" Aiden stepped forward, his face grim. "Sir, based on the data we've gathered, it appears their predictions are accurate. Our own solar observations have shown increasing instability, but we didn't have the long-term data to see the pattern. The Martians do." As the implications sank in, Elena added, "The stellar shield they're proposing, it's like nothing we've ever seen. The technology is centuries beyond our own." The NASA director nodded slowly. "And the cost? This mining operation they're suggesting?" Sarah took a deep breath. It would be devastating, sir. We're talking about strip mining on a global scale. The environmental impact would be catastrophic. A heavy silence fell over both ends of the transmission. Finally, the NASA director spoke again. We'll need time to discuss this with the UN and come to a global consensus. In the meantime, continue gathering data and keep an eye on our Martian friends. Chen, use your best judgment, but remember, the safety of Earth is paramount. As the transmission ended, Sarah turned to her crew. All right, team, you heard the man. We keep working, but we stay alert. Something about this doesn't feel right. Over the next few days, the crew worked alongside the Martians, learning more about their technology and the impending solar threat. But as they delved deeper into the alien databases, Michael made a disturbing discovery. "Commander," he called out, his voice tight with tension, "you need to see this." On the holographic display before them was a simulation of the stellar shield in action. But as the simulation progressed, it showed not just the deflection of the solar flare, but the complete absorption of Earth's electromagnetic field. "They're not just trying to save us," Michael said, his eyes wide. "They're planning to harvest our planet's energy. The mining, it's just the first step." The realization hit the crew like a physical blow. The Martians' plan would save Earth from the flare, but at the cost of rendering the planet uninhabitable, just like Mars. Before they could process this information, alarms began blaring throughout the complex. The central chamber where they had first encountered the Martians was pulsing with energy, and more stasis pods were opening. "They're waking up the rest of their people," Elena gasped. "They're initiating their plan." Sarah's mind raced. They were trapped underground, outnumbered, and facing a technologically superior force. But they were also the only thing standing between Earth and potential annihilation. "Yuki," she barked, "send an emergency transmission to Earth. Warn them about the Martians' true intentions. Michael, Elena, grab whatever data and tech you can. Hayden, we need a way out of here. Now." As the crew scrambled to action, Sarah confronted the Martian leader. "You lied to us," she accused. "You're not trying to save Earth, you're trying to colonize it." The Martian's multifaceted eyes gleamed. "We offered you a choice, human. Sacrifice a part to save the whole. Your leaders hesitate, but we cannot afford to wait. Our survival is at stake, not at the cost of our entire world," Sarah shot back. "We'll find another way." As more Martians emerged from stasis, the situation quickly spiraled out of control. Iden managed to locate an ancient transit system that could take them back to the surface, but they'd have to fight their way there. Part 5. Humanity's Stand. The next hours were a blur of desperate flight and improvised plans. The crew used their knowledge of the complex and their own ingenuity to stay one step ahead of the Martians. Michael rigged Martian tech to create distractions, while Elena used her understanding of the alien biology to incapacitate their pursuers. As they raced through the underground labyrinth, Sarah's mind worked overtime. They needed to stop the Martians, warn Earth, and find a way to counter the solar flare. An impossible task, but humanity's survival depended on it. Finally, they reached the transit system, an ancient magnetic levitation track that shot up towards the surface. As they prepared to board, Yuki made a startling discovery. "Commander," she called out, her eyes wide with excitement. "I think I've found a way to stop them." She quickly explained her plan. The Martian hibernation system was tied into the planet's core. If they could overload it, they could trigger a planetary-scale electromagnetic pulse. It would knock out all Martian tech and keep them trapped underground. "But we'll be trapped too," Iden pointed out. Sarah nodded grimly. "Not all of us. 4 of you will take the transit to the surface, get to the landing site, and take off in the Ares Vi. I'll stay behind and trigger the overload." The crew protested, but Sarah was firm. "That's an order. Earth needs to know what happened here, and you need to take the data we've gathered on the solar flare. It's our only hope of finding another solution." With heavy hearts, the crew said their goodbyes. As the transit shot towards the surface carrying her team, Sarah turned back to face the oncoming Martians. Using the knowledge they'd gained, she worked quickly to overload the hibernation system. As the complex began to shake and systems started to fail, she allowed herself a small smile. They had come to Mars seeking knowledge, and they had found it, along with the courage and determination to save their world. The electromagnetic pulse shot through the planet just as the Ares V lifted off from the surface. The ship, shielded by Earth technology, was unaffected, but every piece of Martian tech on the planet went dark. As the Ares V began its long journey home, the crew looked back at the red planet, now silent and still. They carried with them the knowledge to save Earth from the coming solar flare, and a renewed appreciation for the ingenuity and spirit of humanity. Back on Mars, deep underground, Commander Sarah Chen stood amid the darkened Martian complex. She had saved Earth from one threat, but knew her job wasn't finished. As emergency systems slowly came back online, she began to plan. There was a lot of work to do before Earth sent a rescue mission, and she intended to learn everything she could about Martian technology. The next time humanity faced a cosmic threat, they would be ready. And Sarah, along with the sacrifices made on the red sands of Mars, would be there to guide them. As the Ares V disappeared into the depths of space, a new chapter in human history had begun. The red planet's hidden threat had been neutralized, but the true challenge, saving Earth and forging a new path among the stars, was just beginning.